regular webinars since last 1,312 days, and we have 3 sessions in a row. That is 7 to 8 our Hindi session, 8 to 9 our international session in English, and 9 to 10 local language session in Malayalam. And we have a lot of international faculties have taken the seminars on various subjects in this forum. Today we got a wonderful person, Dr. RUDRAKHI Dey. She is working as an assistant professor of organon of medicine, Sri Swami Narayana Homeopathic Medical College, Kolal, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. She has presented many papers in this forum, and all the papers were brilliant, and all the presentations here are really day by day attracting more and more people to our forum, and more every day people are watching our videos which are being uploaded every the other next day itself, so that you can if you miss the presentation every day, you can watch it again and again, and go through the science of homeopathy by that videos. And we have a wonderful session coming here with the topic of this day is prophylactic approach of treatment in homeopathy. This is one of the area where every homeopathic doctor can do wonders, because whenever there is a disease in the name of COVID, like comes in into play, then you can find a remedy for first of all for treatment, of course, and in between you can find prophylactics also. So that what kind of prophylactics one can use and how it is being selected, all these things will be described by our guest, Dr. RUDRAKHI Dey. So let us invite our guest to the session. Welcome, madam. You are muted, madam. Your co-host, you are muted. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me another chance. And so not another, it's maybe my fifth or sixth chance to present here. And sorry for inconvenience, Sahani sir, for the last month that I was a bit sick and you have to continue it. I know Sahani sir will scold me. My screen is visible, sir?
Yes, yes.
My topic is on the prophylactic approach of the treatment. Excuse me, sir. Yes. Is it okay now? My screen is sharing.
Yes, yes, yes. First page is
Okay.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Today, my topic of presentation is prophylactic approach on the treatment of homeopathy. Uh, Okay, thank you so much. First of all, we will start with that. First of all, as we are in the verge of our Master Handyman's birthday, so I like to give my wholehearted salutations from my heart and soul to our Master Handyman for giving us a chance to serve the humanity. The prophylactic. So first start with that prophylactic treatment. What do you mean by the word prophylactic? Guarding from or preventing and spreading or occurrence of the disease of infections and trending to prevent. First of all, word does the word prophylactic means? It actually comes when in the third year or fourth year of organ of medicine. It is when in the courses of third year or fourth year that prophylaxis treatment of homeopathic medicine, guarding from the preventing and spread the occurrence of the disease and infection. And the third is tending to prevent and preventive. Origin of homeopathic prophylaxis. The origin of the homeopathic prophylaxis. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's role in homeopathic prophylaxis. In 1799, here I will be discussing more about history the prophylaxis things came. And lastly, I will be discussing the remedy of few disease with the prophylactic drugs. So this is the beginning of my session. So first, the Samuel Hahnemann's role in homeopathic prophylaxis. In 1799, 3 years after the birth of homeopathy, in Hahnemann's landmarks articles, essay on a new principle, Dr. Hahnemann achieved fame throughout Europe from his exceptional effective treatment of scarlatina, an epidemic that was whipping Germany. And Hahnemann published this pamphlet, Cure and Prevention of Scarlet Fever, in 1801. At that time, he promoted belladonna as a specific prophylactic remedy for scarlatina, and accompanying each pamphlet sold was in vial of belladonna prepared according to his technique at that time. With increased experience and observing treating epidemic illness, Hahnemann recognized unique nature of each occurrence of an epidemic. Aconite proved to be specific for subsequent and scarlatina epidemics sweeping Germany between 1800 to 1808. Here we are seeing that Hahnemann published a template. This is the prophylaxis, the word prophylactic, and the idea of prophylaxis is all about Hahnemann's way. Like Hahnemann's published this pamphlet and prevention of scarlet fever in 1801. At that time, he promoted belladonna as a specific prophylactic remedy for scarlatina, and accompanying each pamphlet sold was a vial of belladonna. Matlab, it means that with each pamphlet, he sold the belladonna vial prepared according to his technique at that time. With increased experience in observing treating epidemics illness, Hahnemann's recognized unique nature of each occurrence of an epidemic. Aconite proved to be the specific of a subsequent and scarlatina epidemic sweeping Germany between 1800 to 1808. Bonninghausen's contribution. Bonninghausen was one of the first to point out the danger of orthodox immunizations. Bonninghausen was one of the first to point out the danger of orthodox immunization, and Baron's first experience was his successful use of thuja as a genus epidemicus, specific remedy for prevention and treatment of smallpox. After his experiments with thuja, the barons went on to test Herring's idea of a nosode made from smallpox viruses. This nosode is called variolinum. After his experiment with thuja, the baron went on to test Herring's idea of a nosode made from smallpox viruses. This nosode is called variolinum. He found that nosode made from smallpox was very successful in preventing the disease. This led the baron to say variolinum 200 is far superior to crude vaccination and absolutely safe. Next, Jeticant and homeopathic prophylaxis. See, in the word prophylaxis has huge views on each and other stalwarts. All the stalwarts having some different views. He found that an nosode made from smallpox was very successful in preventing the disease. Valurinum. Now, today also we use in many practices that valurinum for smallpox. Then still it is curing the diseases. The next is Jeticant and homeopathic prophylaxis. He says the great prophylaxis is the homeopathy remedy after working in an epidemic for a week. And you will find perhaps that half a dozen remedies are daily indicated, and one in these remedies is in a larger number of cases than any other. This one remedy seems to be the best suited and general nature of the sickness. Now you will find that for prophylaxis, there is required a less degree of similitude than the necessary for curing. First, now Jeticant explanation of homeopathy prophylaxis is he said that the great prophylactic is homeopathy remedy. After working in an epidemic for a week, you will find perhaps that half a dozen remedies are daily indicated, and one in these remedies in larger number of cases than any other. This one remedy seems to be the best suited for general nature of sickness. Now you find that for prophylaxis, there is required a less degree of simulated and then necessary for cure. A remedy will not have to be so similar to prevent disease as to cure it. And this remedy in daily use will enable you to prevent a large number of people from becoming sick. We must look to homeopathy for our protection as well as for our cure. Methodology of prophylaxis: constitutional remedy, idiom similar nosodes, and genus epidemicus. Constitutional remedy. Constitutional remedy. This is selected from the characteristics, mental and general and particular symptoms with a focus on that which is strange and uncommon and peculiar to the individuals sufferer. In aphorism 82 to 104, that is just before drug proving, that is the during the time of case taking and all. This is selected the characteristics, mental, general and particular symptoms with a focus on that which is strange, uncommon and peculiar to the individuals and sufferer. Aphorism 82 to 104. This strengthens the vital force in an holography manner by removing predisposition, increasing vitality, and raising general immunity to stress and disease. When combined with good hygiene, nutrition, and stress management programs, constitutional treatments forms the first line of defense against all the forms of infections and the disease. This is constitutional remedy is all about how when combined with hygiene and nutrition, then it acts very nicely and very properly. Next is idea of similar nosodes. Like Herring was the first to use this method. In this method, a nosodes of threatening miasm is given a preventive to the specific disease. The specific causation of the offending miasm must be known and in proper stock available. Homeopathic nosodes have a wider band of action than orthodox immunizations. The nosodes of the most common miasms are available from reputable pharmacies. An example of such prophylactic remedy is pertussin, nosodes made from whooping cough viruses, and it may necessary to make nosodes for prevailing and straining of miasma. That is, in case of nosodes, in case of the use of nosodes, the homeopathy nosodes have a band of action than orthodox immunization. The nosodes of most common miasms are available for reputable pharmacies. An example of such prophylactic remedy is pertussins and the nosodes made from whooping cough viruses. It may be necessary to make a nosodes of the prevailing strain of the miasma. Vaccination and homeopathy prophylaxis. Like a vaccine, like any medicine, this is a topic to discuss very elaborately actually. What happens during vaccinations? A vaccines, like any medicine, could cause and serious reactions, but the risk of reaction of vaccine causing serious harms or death is extremely small. The true incidences of vaccine injury in 50 to 70 times higher than official statistics indicates. This is we have been all have been observed, like if there are many drugs in our Metro Medica where it is written that bad effect of vaccination, what happens after the reactions of the vaccinations, and how the disease continue its course after its cause. So, like during COVID time also, after COVID vaccines, we had got so many cases in our OPDs about how COVID vaccines are working or not, these, that. So it has been noticed by homeopaths that vaccination may lead to changes of personality, sleep patterns, eating patterns, bowel patterns, and other alternations of natural cycles. Each vaccine has acute symptoms. And latent symptoms and chronic symptoms. Now, vaccines and homeoprophylaxis contains material doses, which means it has a live attenuated or killed viruses, bacteria, toxins in a crude drug. Crude dose homeoprophylaxis contains an energetic dose, which means the substance are potentized, diluted to reduce material dose, but retains the memory of the disease or the disease agent. See, now we are comparing what vaccine is doing and what homeoprophylaxis will be doing. Contain on material dose. Vaccines has material doses, which means it is live attenuated, killed, or viruses, bacteria, or toxins in a crude dose. Homeoprophylaxis contains an energetic doses, which means the substance are potentized, diluted to reduce material doses, but retain the memory of the disease or the disease agent. Next is contains adjuvant to stimulate the immunity and response, and other additives, which may include other viruses, human fetal tissue, DNA, animal byproducts, etc. Nosodes are produced from pure viral bacterial cultures or human discharges response to the germs. Vaccine contains preservatives such as thimersals, formaldehydes, and aluminum. There is no preservative in adjuvants or other contaminations in homeopathic nosodes. Prophylaxis is administered orally and sugar pellets so the intestines, where 80% of the immunity resides, can recognize the disease materials and starts the working of building immunity. Multiple diseases are introduced at the same time, which is unnatural situation. Single disease at a time. The germs and other ingredients are injected directly into the body and thereby passing peripheral immune systems. And expectations of antibody productions in immune systems, and there are too immature to produce antibody in 0 to 2 years. From birth or general immune system, functions are active and therefore responsive to general stimulations. Hahnemann and vaccines. So, from previous association, it has been that an expectation of antibody production in immune system. There are it takes 0 to 2 years for the antibody productions, but from birth and general immune system, functions are active, therefore responsive to general stimulations. Next is Hahnemann and vaccines. He supported and praised Jenner's works on vaccinations. In the Organon, he wrote that smallpox had not spread with such widespread virulence since the use of Jenner's vaccination. With these divided views, it is difficult to report on Hahnemann's informed opinion of vaccination, as this practice was still very immature during his lifetime. He lacked sufficient experience to be able to formulate a judgment either for or against it. However, Hahnemann did hold stringent views on the importance of a healthy diet and applying minimum intervention. So, it is possible to speculate that he would not have become a keen advocate of vaccination. This is how Hahnemann praised Jenner's works in Organ of Medicine. We can see in the footnotes. Next is effectiveness of homeoprophylaxis. Homeoprophylaxis, a proven alternative by vaccination. It has been said by Dr. Janet Golden. The largest trial of short-term of use of homeoprophylaxis was against the outbreak of meningococcal diseases in Brazil. The researcher gave 65,086 children to homeopathic remedy meningococcal. Another 23,000 and 539 were not protected. The effectiveness of homeoprophylaxis after 6 months was 95%, and after 12 months, follow-up was 97%. So these are the cases, these are found in history of the homeoprophylaxis. Next, genus epidemicus provides protection to epidemic diseases. In this method, homeopaths take a group picture of several cases of acute miasm in questions and try to find the most appropriate remedy or remedies for the prevention. Aphorism 100 to aphorism 103. This method is useful when there is a clear present and danger to domestic and social health condition. It must be combined with avoidance overcrowded, unhygienic places of contaminated food, water, as well as the most careful personal hygiene and diet. What Carol Dunham wrote, the selection of prophylactic remedy must to some extent be governed by the nature of epidemic, and therefore the best preventive cannot always be determined until the epidemic has appeared. Its peculiar nature has been ascertained. These are the quotation, or these are the lines written by Carol Dunham, who has given more on clinical symptoms and all. First step. How? First step is, from the first few cases, the physician has collecting the symptoms. From the first few cases, the physician has very faint dye of this disease, for he sees only a bit of it, gets only a portion of its symptoms. But the epidemic spreads and many patients are necessitated. And many individuals have perhaps been closely observed. We get a better picture. Symptom records of each of the patient is preserved until many case records have been formed. Now, the physician will write down all the symptoms that have been present in each case in a schematic form. Step 2. Finding out the general remedy corresponding to epidemics. By the assistance of repertory, right after each one of these symptoms, all the remedies have produced that symptoms. Having in this way gone through the entire schema, begin to eliminate the remedies that don't give a picture of remedy for a practical purpose. See that 6 or 7 remedies run through the picture and therefore are related to the epidemics corresponding to its whole nature. This may be called the group of epidemic remedies for a particular epidemics. Now, the remedy is maximum. Similar symptoms in different patients is the genus epidemicus, which can be supplied as prophylactic remedy. So, these are the few symptoms of prophylaxis. See, in case of case taking, how the treatment should be finding out general remedy and corresponding to the epidemics by assistance of repertory. First, during the case taking process, we need to, the difficult part of prophylaxis treatment is, I will go further on considering miasm also, because as Hahnemann said, we can mm, deduct the 3 miasms if the prophylaxis is done in the mother's womb. Like what he said, the psychosis and syphilis and soda could be if a dose of sulfur is given in pregnancy, then the miasm, the 10th of miasm is being reduced. This has been said by Hahnemann and mentioned in Organ of Medicine. So the way of taking prophylaxis case taking is very it is very not, I will say, not difficult, but it is an unique way of treatment. Like prophylaxis treatment, it will be like prevention. I have seen a few years ago, few years ago, a paper was being published, Japanese encephalitis, because during my graduation I have read that paper, Japanese encephalitis in the area of Darjeeling and West Bengal, North West Bengal, that is very communicable disease there. Like a group of they found belladonna as an genus epidemicus there. So CCRH people has published the article about being genus epidemicus of the arsenic. And in cases of our during COVID time, we have seen like arsenic album. Arsenic album was not exactly prophylaxis, but it could be an supportive prophylaxis. Like it has increased the remedy. But few of our physician has given, but it is a controversial point. I will not like to discuss it further, because it will create controversy and all. But as far as my knowledge, I will say that it was a supportive prophylaxis, not exactly prophylaxis, because the coronavirus is a very strong virus, and there was nothing to prevent that. Yeah, those who have taken arsenic album, they had gotten boost up of immunity and all, but it's not in genus epidemicus to that disease. And the symptoms were not such symptoms are not exactly to arsenic. It could be other drugs also. The next that how Hahnemann told about that how to do miasmatic prophylaxis treatment. Miasmatic prophylaxis treatment, it could be done in cases like when there is when the whole family is suffering from some diseases, or whole family is suffering from syphilis or psychosis, or I can see that the family history of that patient or that human having like all are going to a psychotic tent, psychotic tent or syphilitic tent. But to prevent that, if a mother is being pregnant, and we want to sometimes patient used to come like what can be done for infant so that we can get a healthy baby and all. So we can do that time a little bit of prophylaxis treatment as mentioned by our master Hahnemann. Finding in corresponding to the epidemics, like prophylaxis treatment genus epidemicus, that is also a very different thing. Genus epidemicus is an like specific remedy for an epidemic disease. And at first we must be clear about what is epidemic to that area. It is an epidemic disease or an endemic disease. Endemic disease is particular to an area. Like an epidemic disease is totally being same cause, same disease agent, and that is epidemic disease. Finding out general remedy corresponding to epidemics by the assistance of a repertory. Right after each one of these symptoms, all the remedies that have produced that symptoms. In this way, begin to eliminate remedies that don't give a picture of remedy for practical purposes. Hello, hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam, audible.
Thank you, sir. This may be having in this way gone through the entire schema, begin eliminate the remedies and that don't give up a picture of remedy for practical purposes, and see that 6 or 7 remedies run through the picture and therefore are related to the epidemic corresponding to its whole nature. This may be called a group of epidemic remedies for that particular epidemics. Now, the remedy is maximum similar symptoms in different patients. That is genus epidemicus. That what I have already described can be supplied the prophylactic remedy. Now, I am telling about note of some prophylactic remedies in cases of few cases like brain fever, belladonna 200 once every week for a month. In case of belladonna doesn't get prophylaxis in case of any brain diseases. For example, Japanese encephalitis, brain fever, and cases of conjunctivitis and all. Cataract. Calcarea flow 12x morning and evening first day. Natramur 6x, Calphos 6x, and morning and evening. Chickenpox, Verulinum 200 every morning, 3 days. For cholera, Cupramet 30 morning and night once in 3 days. Cold aconite 30 even hour for 2 hours. Belladonna 30 morning and night once in 3 days. Conjunctivitis madrasai, that is belladonna 30 morning and night once in 3 days. Flu. For example, flu fever, cold, chill and chilliness, influenzinum 30, 200, 3 doses, 30 or 200, which doses? Gastroenteritis, it is always arsenic album, 3 doses. Hepatitis, chelidonium, 6-3 thrice a day. Jaundice, Marksol, 200. Malaria of Natramur, measles, pulsatilla 200 once in 2 days and 6 days. For tonsillitis, Baraita curb. These prophylaxis I have also practiced in many areas where I have been for the last 2-3 years in my hometown. Tonsillitis, Baraita cup 200, 1 dose every fortnight. Travel sickness. This is I will I just got remembered one of my friend's mother, and we were all traveling, so she was having the travel sickness thing. So the whole night she couldn't sleep and making us panic that tomorrow I have to travel with you people. I don't want to go these there, and we were also insisting her ki, no auntie, just go with us, we will be you will be fine, these that. Then that was the time we was just studying in 4th year. We was in 4th year, so we thought, why don't we use like that? Me and my friend thought, let's give and let's just see what happens. So we just gave her coculus, and that was the first time of our life that we are just doing by our own thing. And then we are like, okay, then while traveling, she was cool, nice, enjoying the whole travel, was so nice and all. After that, she told us, this was the first time I didn't got any sickness and all. So from there only, we are so happy that we are like we did that. She had a very great journey after that. So the next is coculus is a great drug. I will say in case of aviation sickness, it is belladonna. In case of motion sickness, it is travel sickness, it is coculus. In case of like traveling in a ship or sailing and all, that is always coculus. Next is tuberculosis. So that is tuberculinum 1M first month, and second month 1M and CM in the third month. This is in cases of pregnancy. Whooping cough, pertussin 200 and 3 doses. So this was my presentation today. I would like to know more about from the other seniors who have joined today about their prophylaxis experience.
Thank you, Dr. Rudrachi. It's really a very good session. You covered almost all parts of this prophylactics and homeopathy. And as we all know that there are different methods used by different doctors, and that's why you have to say about a controversial subject here, and on COVID preventive arsenic album. Can you please adjust your camera a little more? Only half part of your, okay. So
Yes, I can see now.
yes, yes, now we can see you. All of that, and before only half part. Anyway, actually, the thing is that when we have a government organization in the name of National Institute of Homeopathy, what as a doctor, whether it is a private practitioner or a homeopath, or say government doctor, you have to follow the rules put forward by the National Council for Homeopathy. So,
Yes.
so they have chosen a remedy, arsenic alb, according to the performer you told before in the beginning of the session. What are the how one have to find a medicine as a preventive for such a disease. So they used all the symptoms. They collected all the symptoms from different part of the world and pick up a remedy by repetition. They got the remedy arsenic alb. And that's how it was chosen. And it was published and it was released as an official homeopathic prophylactic. So as a homeopath, everyone should stick on that. We have different school by Dr. Rajan Shankar and Dr. Prabhu Vijayakar. But of course, they can say this and that, or even in Kerala, there is Dr. Vivian Nair has come out with some other method. But whenever, their men may be different, but we have to stick on the route put forward by the National Council of Homeopathy. So there is no need to defend the private practitioner or the other schools of practitioners. What we have to do is we have to stick on the what the government proposes. So that is the reason why we got approval from the Supreme Court that there is a
Yes.
medicine in arsenic alb. You can give it to the people. If the doctors from different schools of thoughts and even association proposes some different remedies, then the Supreme Court won't allow us to practice this medicine. So
It
this
has
is
been
what.
found also in some cases, in some areas, that by using of arsenic alum, the COVID infection was not there.
But actually, in Kerala, we have given this arsenic balloon, but excessive. There was a result there was a research work by a team of government doctors along with private doctors in Pathanamthitta district, and it was also big. The result was also a big one, very good one. And we have they have submitted the report to the Kerala government also. And as far as the Central Council of Homeopathy is concerned, their result was also published in this forum. The first time it was released was in this Zoom session. Dr. Anil Khurana came out here and published the published the same in this forum. And it was found that 99.6% result at that time in the early first part of the COVID scenario. So that means that we can proudly and loudly say what the government proposed, our National Institute of Homeopathy proposes. So no need of defending any other school of thoughts. This is what I would like to add to this session. Anyway, you have there is one more point I would like to add to here is that in Kerala, as you know, here homeopathy is in a bloom. We have a very good government organization and government setup. Already we have some more than 1,000 homeopathic dispensaries, including 40 government hospitals, and so. What I would like to say that there is a association, there is an organization called REACH, the Rapid Epidemic control in homeopathy. This is the team which include government doctors, private doctors, and whenever there is an epidemic happen, all the team in that area will collect the symptoms from patients, and they will choose the remedy, and they will approve the remedy, and they will ask the doctors, whether government or private, to release the medicine to public. So this is about, so this kind of things we can do in every district as well as in every state, even though the central council is not, they may not be able to come out to all this area to find, even during the time of Nipah also, a team of doctors find out some remedy, some prophylactic, but unfortunately we were not allowed to distribute the same. This is what I would like to add to this session. And now it is the time for discussion. Dr. Sridhar Kursar is already waiting. Sir, you can speak, and then Dr. Hilbert. And those who want to participate in the discussion can also raise your hand. So you can also add to it something more, and you can have a chat with Dr. Rudrakhi there. Yes, sir.
Now, Doctor, whether it is audible?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Rudrakhi Dey, it is a very wonderful section. It is very difficult. It is not so easy to take such a class. That I agree. But that we have done so many studies in Central Research Institute, Kottayam. I was the in charge. First that I done that a big study about 42,500 people, chikungunya, 3 places we studied, double-blinded method. That means whether the physician don't know and even to the patient don't know, but only the statistician from the headquarters knows. It was conducted by CCRH. That their 0.05, the difference came. That it was very good result. That we selected the Brownian. How we selected? We went to about to be more than 60 cases. We went and real chikungunya cases, and we selected, and we got bryonia. As that we distributed bryonia 30 to about 45 days, and we appointed so many NGOs involved, and then we conducted, and it was published into the CCRH. And another study that influenza like that time up to the one influenza like that to the sin flu, that time it affected in Kerala. That is 2008 or 9, exact year I am not remembering. But that time the head office people came, and we also cooperated, and we sent that to all the places where the people are suffered, and about 25 people died. That their house we went and took the case, and we sent it to the headquarters. Of course, we done to the repatriation, we got arsenic, but the government of India published those days into the paper that government of India itself is published arsenic, and it is prevented. So many places in Kerala, it was a preventive measure was done, and like that 2-3 cases that it is found out. Then I done my personal ways, that I done a study about the variolinum in chickenpox. About 95% of the persons, the percentage I got result. It was in a school every year. About 5 years continuously I done it. These are some of my these things, but still there are so many other medicines also. Chikungunya, the phosphorus is that the Wales disease, that is the that is also phosphorus. Then dengue fever, Eupitorium purpura, Japanese encephalitis, Bellona was given. That encephalitis that was given Japan the under the India, along with the that the Andhra Pradesh government, that they are done, that we BCT, that means Bellona calcareous and tuberculum was given. First first day that 200 belladonna gave, that after 1 week, calcareous 200, it was approved by the government of India and analyzed by the ICMR. Then after 2 weeks, 200 was given. That you said already, that the conjunctivitis, belladonna, mumps, carotidinum,
Sir,
then
in cases of
tetanus,
dengue also
Ranambala.
epidural has been given.
Oh, okay. You will please tell after finishing me. Okay, otherwise it will.
Yes.
Tuberculosis you said already. Then pertussin, that also you told. Then typhoidinum is one of the best medicine. Then polio, laparis, that is one of the best medicine. Then diphtheria that you told, diphtheria, cholera, cupramate, that also you told. Marsol that you told for the jaundice. Malaria official, that is malaria. And natromore, if it is failed, that if the malaria officialis is failed, then you can give natromore. That the chicken pox, that and measles, you can give Parsatilla. Then even an intercurrent, you can give morbillinum. Then another medicine is melandrinum. Then German measles, rubella. Then for the these gum, that the some problems that you can give calcarea. Then that the old ammonium carb, like that, so many things that you can give. That the preventive of these gallbladder stone, China, and chianthos, like that medicines also you can give as a. Then gastroenteritis, arsenic carb, you said that the hepatitis, paramporos and chelidonium, that the cataract you mentioned already. These are the plague, tarantula hispania. These are some of the preventive medicine what I different places I collected in, like that of different the sources I collected and I kept it. So thank you very much. And we have done several that such type of the studies that we feel that it is exact we cannot say, but it is a great good difference we can prevent. And first one is, and most one is, the if you may continuously take the our homeopathic constitution medicine, it can most of the cases we can prevent. The second one is that you said already, Venus epidemicus, that also it is very effective. That like that of we can prevent so many diseases if you may take regularly homeopathic medicine. That is my opinion, as I was having 30 years CCRH experience as its head of the department in different positions. So thank you very much. A big salute for you. It is not easy to take such a class. Whether it is correct or wrong, that is doesn't matter, but it is a good class. Thank you very much. Keep it up. Come again, such a wonderful subject. Thank you. One and all.
Thank you, Sridhar Guru sir. Now it's over to Dr. Hibat.
Thank you, Doctor. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, everything fine. You can.
Doctor, it was a very nice presentation and very deep one. Congratulations. But I want to ask you two questions. I want to ask you. First question: if there are so many medicines, already said that you told that I have some opinion. If a disease, if it is COVID, then we are treating with several medicines. Which medicine is very effective in all the stages of the COVID? Is it the real genus epidemicus? Understand?
Yes, sir, I understood. That's why only I said that the name of the medicine that has been taken was an supportive prophylaxis. This was also my point was also the same thing, that the coronavirus is also represented with different symptoms. Everybody doesn't had the same symptoms being affected by the people. The things are different. The severity of the disease was also different. The severity of the was also different. So the medicines has been given by the government. The name of the medicine that has been given by NIH and the government of India for arsenic album in cases of COVID.
Thank you, doctor. Then the other one, if there is any only functional disorders in fits,
Yes.
epilepsy, only functional disorder. That time, which medicine you can propose? Which are the medicine very much
Cuprametricum.
useful? Huh? Cuprametricum.
Cuprametricum.
As a
First aid.
prophylaxis.
Yes, it could be.
Which potency?
Sir, I haven't experienced this.
Anybody
So
having
it is
experience,
like
please share.
it is like giving Viva.
Yeah. Anybody having, because I got a case, that is why I am asking, because there is no any only functional disorder and very often coming fit. So is there any experience?
In
There
one
are
of my
so
cases,
many.
the symptom has been reduced because that patient was having a pathology of the fissure. The commissural fissure was a little bit of high gap in the commissural fissures of that patient. So that the episodes of the epilepsy has been reduced by giving cuprametricum. This is only my experience. Other than I don't have.
Alkaria yourself having any, have you ever heard anything
No,
about
I
Alkaria
didn't
self?
have, sir. Maybe our stalwarts are there. They can.
Then our senior doctors are there, Ram Pravesh sir.
Yes.
Have you anything to suggest for your prophylaxis as a fits? Grand mal, petit mal.
Frankly
Thank
speaking,
you, Dr. Silva and Dhaneji. Congratulations, Rudrakhi Day. For prophylaxis of epilepsy case, I am agree, Dr. Rudrakhi Day. Cuprum metallicum is a very good remedy. Attack always in child age. Child age.
In child.
In child age, due to suppression of eruption, not hereditary epileptic, suppression of eruption. Any kinds of drugs and medicine, external use. So very thanks, Dr. Rudrakhi Dey, for prophylaxis of homeopathic medicine. Very good, beautiful described. Thank you.
Dr. Dhanesh.
yes, yes.
Anything you can suggest?
Yes, frankly, it depends upon the patient because once you took the case, you can see what are the prominent symptoms in the patient and what are the reasons for behind the illness. That need to be considered. And then you can go with the remedy that will have an action on this brain. That may be the best thing because the epilepsy that signs and symptoms are shown on the body, but the real villain is in the brain. So you will have to find a remedy that will act on the brain of the patient, rather than simply going at this the spasms and all those things are there. So it is a you can give a remedy like Cupramet for that. But instead of that, you have to find a remedy which will be working more on the brain because sometimes snake remedies may be doing good thing, particularly the Bothro may be a very good remedy. Of course, Ramadevi Ambadi Madam has raised, and so Ambadi Madam can speak for a while, and then Ambadi Madam can also say what are thanks to this session also.
Hello, can you hear?
Yes.
Yes, madam.
See, De Silva, try Califos, higher dose, 10 m or 50 m.
Alifos. How often?
Or 2 doses, only 2 doses. Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. The
you.
the session was very nice, very neatly narrated, and you had gotten this organon and everything. It was very nice session. Thank you a lot. I convey my regard and gratitude in the name of me as well as the IFPH. Thank you a lot. Please come again and again.